The Bible consistently ranks as one of the best-selling books of all time. The first printed Bible was released in the 15th century courtesy of Johannes Gutenberg, who invented the printing press and made the mass production of Bibles possible in subsequent centuries. Join Factory Window as we go through the step-by-step production process. The authorship of the Bible began long before the first Bible was made, with its origin tracing back as long as 3,500 years. Who authored the Bible remains a highly contested subject. Whether it was inspired or dictated divinely or a product of human authorship remains a source of conflict among biblical scholars and different factions of Christianity. Certain religious writings associated with the Bible were written during different periods. Earlier contents of the Bible, especially the Torah books, were passed down from generation to generation through oral narrations before eventually being written down in the first millennium and subsequent centuries. The texts in the Old Testament were compiled into what is known as the Hebrew Bible around the 7th or 8th century. The original Hebrew Bible was later translated into Greek by 72 scholars drawn equally from each Hebrew tribe. This translation, the Septuagint, became an essential source for future translation work in the Middle Ages. The New Testament books were written in a shorter period than the Old Testament. Historians believe texts in the New Testament were written between 50 and 120 CE. As the authorship of the Bible happened and translations were made, some books were considered more authoritative than others, and they were eventually included in the canons we recognize today. Over time, the Bible was subdivided into verses and chapters, cementing the layout we recognize today. It may surprise you, but most Bibles today are copyrighted to their original publishers. This means that each publisher has to translate original manuscripts or translated versions in the public domain, such as the Berean Standard Bible, which allows reproduction of the entire text for commercial and non-commercial uses. Publishers who want to base their Bible versions on existing English translations must request permission to source their material from these Bibles. Large Bible publishers such as Zondervan and Thomas Nelson have the right to publish the New International Version and the New King James Version, respectively. When sourcing text, the publisher works with a team of translators to translate original biblical manuscripts, primarily Masoretic text for the Old Testament and Textus Receptus for the New Testament. Translating these texts involves a multidisciplinary team of Bible scholars, linguistic experts, and theologians. During translations, the translators may follow one of two major theories of biblical translation: complete equivalence or functional equivalence. Complete equivalence, or word-for-word translation, is the literal translation of biblical text. It may involve using words with similar meanings to the original text or the same grammatical structure. Texts such as the King James Version were translated using this method. However, this translation method can result in lower readability or be misleading, as certain phrasings tend to change meaning when translated literally. Functional or dynamic equivalence, or phrase-for-phrase translation, is more concerned with the meaning and thought expressed in the original text when translating it into English. Versions translated using dynamic equivalence communicate the idea expressed in the text. While some texts rely on one translation method over the other, most will use a combination of translation methods for accuracy. Translators will also use sociological and linguistic research to ensure that the translated text carries the intended meaning without influence from cultural, ideological, political, or other stances that may alter the meaning of biblical texts. Part of this research might include commentary on the original text and other historical writings. Once the first draft of the translation is complete, it undergoes a thorough editorial process, which includes several rounds of review to check for theological accuracy and readability. At this point, the translators may also provide additional information, including footnotes, translation decisions, and overall commentary. Finally, the translation is approved before proceeding to the next production stage. While secular institutions oversee some Bible publishers, others are developed with the theological perspectives of particular denominations. Such denominations translate the Bible themselves. A good example is the Catholic Bible, which consists of additional books not found in the standard canon. These denominations have copyrights to their Bible versions and commission other Bible publishers to produce them on their behalf. Traditionally, Bible publishers created versions designed for adult readers. However, they also make special editions for specific target groups such as children, teenagers, or young adults. These versions often feature simplified language and additional illustrations not in the standard Bible. Publishers also take more liberties with these Bible versions, choosing what information to include, the areas to highlight, and the language to use. Once a manuscript is approved, the next step involves preparing the text for printing. Text preparation involves several tasks: determining the font and size of the printed text, determining the best layout for readability. This will include the amount of white space on the page between the columns, lines, words, and letters, aligning the lines on each page, and setting the margins. Setting the layout for chapter divisions and book separation. Determining the position of other materials such as maps, references, footnotes, and other aids to help the reader. Preparing the Bible text for printing includes contextualizing the text within a page to make it easier for readers to engage with it. This looks like pairing verses that relate to each other in the same paragraph, using punctuation to provide additional context to information contained within a line, word, or verse. Different publishers also use other methods to provide additional context to the text. These include capitalizing certain letters or words, using italics for emphasis, footnotes and margin notes on the text, translation, historical context, or alternative translations of specific texts. Have you ever wondered why Bibles have such light paper yet can withstand years of turning, dog-earing, and highlighting without falling apart within a few uses? Or how each Bible can hold hundreds of pages yet not weigh a ton? It comes down to the type of paper used to print Bibles. Bible publishers use a special type of paper called scritta, or more commonly Bible paper. This paper results from a delicate manufacturing process that must ensure the paper is thin, lightweight, and opaque. Bible manufacturers can choose from two main types of lightweight paper: groundwood or free sheet. The choice of material depends on considerations such as cost, durability, the thickness of the paper, and its brightness. Groundwood paper is the most affordable option, but it is prone to damage from light and moisture. With time, Bibles made from this paper discolor from the exposure. Free sheet paper is considerably expensive but offers the best durability for Bibles. It undergoes further processing than groundwood paper, making it resistant to staining and protecting it from the gradual effects of time. The choice of paper used for Bibles is important, as is the ink used during printing. Since the paper is thin, the type of ink used should not penetrate the other side, be durable, and be smudge-proof for readability. Most publishers typically use black ink for their Bibles, but they may highlight certain text with red to distinguish it from the rest of the text. Publishers who use the red ink in their Bibles do so to highlight the words directly spoken by Jesus. When used in the Old Testament, red ink symbolizes the passages Jesus quoted in his teachings, providing readers with cross-references. Once the ink and paper are chosen, Bible printing begins. Offset printing is the preferred method for mass production of Bibles. Bible publishers prefer offset printing over digital printing for a few reasons. It is fast. It produces high-quality print with better detail and sharpness. The quality of offset printing is also consistent. It is cost-effective for mass production. Before offset printing Bibles, the press has to prepare digital files that meet the publisher's specifications. These specifications include text layout, font size, and color. In addition, these files are reproduced in the highest resolution to ensure quality printing. Once these specifications are met, the images are transferred onto plates in preparation for printing. Technical operators oversee the printing process, ensuring each printer has the correct ink and paper settings and that the plate-to-blanket-to-paper ink transfer process happens accurately. Once complete, the printed materials are left to dry before the post-press activities begin. Once dry, the printed materials are bound and trimmed using large-scale guillotines to ensure the edges are even and professional. Finishing touches such as coatings may be applied to the Bible. Binding is a key step in producing Bibles that determines their durability. Bibles can be bound in several ways, but the common binding method are smith sewing and gluing. The publisher's chosen technique will vary based on several factors, including cost-effectiveness. To understand how these binding methods work, we must know how books are printed. In offset printing, the Bible is printed on a sheet of paper, each carrying 4 pages. These sheets are then organized into signatures in the correct order for binding. A signature is a set of booklets made by folding the large sheets of paper. You can see these signatures in most books made using smith sewn binding. Bible publishers that want to produce durable Bibles use smith sewing as it offers the best reinforcement. The first step in smith sewn binding is creating the signatures. This is done by separating all the printed pages into smaller booklets with roughly the same number of pages. The number of pages in each signature will vary based on the preference of the publisher or printing press. These pages are then organized and folded along the center line to form a booklet. The signatures are punched and sewn together using a binding thread. The sewing process involves checking the book to ensure no signatures or threads are missing. The assembled book is now ready for attachment to the spine and the addition of other accessories, such as the ribbon markers typical of most Bibles. An adhesive is added to the spine, book, and other accessories before drying the book. Once dry, the book is trimmed and prepared for other final touches, such as gilding. Gluing as a binding method takes a different approach. First, the printed book is organized into signatures, ensuring the pages are in the correct order. Once organized, the spine of these signatures is cut off, leaving loose leaflets, which are then glued to the spine. While publishers use both methods, glued Bibles are more likely to fall apart with constant use. In contrast, Smith-sewn Bibles last longer as the binding allows the pages to open better without straining the spine. Bible covers are the final piece that adds to a Bible's durability and portability. Depending on the Bible version and the intended audience, different manufacturers use varying materials for Bible covers. Paperback Bibles are the cheapest and least durable. The lightness of the cover, combined with the extensive use of the Bible, makes these covers more prone to damage. Hardcover Bibles are more durable than paperback ones. Some publishers invest in high-quality hardcover backings for their Bibles and combine this with Smith-sewn binding. The result is a Bible that opens easily and lasts longer. Some publishers will combine hardcover and cloth to introduce a smooth texture to the Bible. Leather covers are also popular among Bible publishers for their durability, texture, and appearance. Publishers use different types of real and faux leather, but goatskin leather is considered the creme de la creme of natural leather for its durability and flexibility. It is often used in premium Bibles desired to last a lifetime. The type of Bible cover the publisher chooses depends on their production budget, the type and purpose of the Bible in question, and the durability of the cover. In addition to deciding what type of material to use for the book cover, Bible publishers also decide on the graphics on the cover. Most Bibles have a simple Holy Bible imprint on the front cover and the Bible version on the spine. Some may include a cross on the front cover or the spine. Other publishers opt for more details and embellishments, which they emboss or hot stamp onto the cover. Paperback Bibles give publishers more freedom in the graphics and design elements they can add to these books. When designing Bible covers, especially those with leather covers, publishers tend to use conservative embellishments rather than trendy styles. The quality of a translation is one of the top metrics used to evaluate the quality of the Bible. Bible publishers assess their Bibles with biblical scholars, translation specialists, theological experts, and editorial and proofreading teams. This is an intensive process that involves reviewing the Bible word by word and line by line to check for accuracy and ensure the footnotes and cross-references are okay. It also involves checking each page for formatting issues, typography problems, and other missed issues during text preparation and printing. Each Bible is also checked for its physical integrity. This means checking whether all the pages are bound, whether the cover, lining, and ribbon markers are correctly attached to the book, and whether each element is captured on the cover. The quality of the materials used in the production of the Bible also matters. Publishers will check the quality of the paper, ink, and material used for the cover to ensure they match the publisher's quality standards. Bible distribution is the final step in the production of Bibles. Bible publishers distribute their Bibles through several channels, including selling to wholesalers, retailers, and bookstores. They may also collaborate with renowned Bible distribution organizations like Gideon's International to get their books to more people. Some publishers embark on Bible production projects as part of their outreach efforts. Such publishers often choose low-cost Bibles produced in the most cost-effective manner and distribute them for free to various recipients. The growth of e-commerce has also enabled Bible publishers to connect directly with buyers from their platforms. Like other book publishers, Bible publishers conduct marketing campaigns to raise awareness of their Bibles among new users. The Bible production process is time-consuming and labor-intensive. It often requires multiple teams with varying expertise to produce Bibles that are scripturally sound and can withstand regular usage. Once made, these Bibles are sold or donated to various communities as part of outreach initiatives. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe to the channel, and let us know your preferred Bible translation in the comments.